ਗੱਲ ਕਰਾਂਗੇ ਸਾਡੇ ਕੈਂਪ ਦੇ ਇੱਕ ਹੋਰ ਮਾਨ ਹਸਤੀ ਨਾਲ who has been very influential in helping kids learn and educating them because she comes from a background where she has her own Montessori school. She's a teacher by profession, and just like her husband, Gurmeet Singh, helping and being a multi-talented woman, empowering all the little young ladies here. Sat Sri Akal, Sukhsahej Kaurji.
ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕਾ ਖਾਲਸਾ ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕੀ ਫਤਿਹ.
Well, it's a pleasure to have you from what I hear as part of this camp as well. And I'm glad that I'm getting to meet with you and do this interview with you. Now, from what I understand, you own your own school. You have your own Montessori school where you are already teaching kids. So this is right up your alley. As multi-talented as you are, I've heard you sing shabads and you're teaching and helping kids, empowering them. Tell me a little about your involvement here.
I began coming to this camp 12 years ago, and we had just had our baby. So my daughter was a month old, and we got a phone call saying that we would really love you to come and participate and do the seva. And so I looked at my husband and I said, well, we just have this baby, so let them know that maybe not this year. And they persisted, and they said, no, you'll get lots of support and love here, and we just need you to be here. You know, not necessarily, you don't have to take any classes, but it would be wonderful if you could be here just to support the girls and the young women so that they can feel a connection through you in some form. So I was moved by that. So we did. We packed our bags and we brought our 1 month-old daughter to camp. And there are over 200 kids then, and we've never looked back since then. So she's very proud to say that she's 12 years old and she's been coming to camp for 12 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, let me ask you, you're very involved with these young ladies here. छोटे बच्चियां कुड़ियां नाल मैं तां देखा बहुत ठहरा नाल बड़े प्यार नाल तुसी उन्हां नूं सिखा रहे हो, and you're really helping them. Tell me a little about this.
I'm quite passionate when it comes to first my own Sikhi. I was born and raised in Canada, and so I came to Sikhi, you know, by the time I was 11 years old. It wasn't something I was naturally born into in terms of an Amritari family. So I think I can relate to the girls on that level, that it really is something you have to own for yourself. And when it did connect with me, it was a very personal connection, and it was a very empowering connection. And it was, for me, I felt it was very unique being a woman. It felt like a very unique experience as a Gursikh Bibi, that there was something really exponentially powerful about that whole concept of being a Kaur and a princess. And I really felt that that message needed to be shared with the girls here. That often, you know, we look at Sikhi, and sometimes they relate it through their fathers, or they relate it through their brothers, and they see, you know, the Barna, and they see the Pagri and the Dardi. But I really wanted them to shift that paradigm and really own their own relationship with their guru, and to own their own relationship with their Sikhi. So when we came, my first big thing was to talk to the girls and to make a connection with them. And as the years have progressed, we've had women Gatka Akhadas where the girls have gotten together and they've learned Gatka, and they've done Gatka presentations, and have really felt the power of, you know, being able to stand up strong and tall and know that you know, the future of the Khalsa lies in their hands as mothers. And we've really we've extended the learning into so many different areas of camp, and it's just been an honor to be able to participate in any way I can.
Now, from what I understand, you also do Gatka, Shabad bhi karte ho, Gatka bhi karte ho, discussion classes bhi karte ho. You're doing it all.
Yeah, you know, jack of all trades, master of none, perhaps. But from a young age, I took interest in a lot of those different areas. And, you know, it's not to say I was always comfortable. I'm not the best in every area, but it was really important for me that the girls saw that women can do everything that the men were doing. So I think that was my drive, whereas often I can be more timid and I may like to sit back, but if I see that there needs to be female representation, then I'm more than willing to put myself out there for the sake of the women to really feel empowered and to be inspired.
I think, you know what, I really believe you're a true asset to this camp with thoughts like that. ਇਸ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਦੇ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਵਿਚਾਰ ਨੇ ਇਸ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਕਾਫੀ young ਕੁੜੀਆਂ ਜਿਹੜੀਆਂ ਇੱਥੇ ਆਉਂਦੀਆਂ ਨੇ and you know just being a Sikh itself they feel sometimes like you said shy ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ you know like that maybe we're not as good as the others and seeing what you're portraying what you're giving them if they see somebody else do it it's like well I can do it too so that I think that's great ਤੁਹਾਡੀ thinking ਇਸ ਹਿਸਾਬ ਨਾਲ it's really beautiful to hear you say that.
Thank you. Thank you for saying that. It means a lot to me. The classes are really core in terms of what is imparted to the children here, the Sikh history and the Sikh way of life and the Gurmeet classes. But I find just as importantly the atmosphere that's involved in this camp, you know, the day-to-day, morning to night sangat that these children are getting is really amazing. So I find sometimes my most inspiring conversations with the girls are you know, around the lunch table at lunchtime, where they've had time to think about what was being discussed the night before, and it's all, you know, sort of percolated overnight, and now they really want to talk about it, and they want to connect it to themselves. What I'm hearing a lot this year especially is the focus that, you know, Guru Sahib Mera hai, and Guru Sahib is always with me. And the, you know, the theme of the camp this year is So Satgur Pyara Mere Naal hai. And for the children to acknowledge that you know, I walk hand in hand with Guruji, that it's a personal relationship as much as it is a panthic one and a communal one. It's a very personal relationship I have. And I think when young ladies make that connection with Mata Sahib Kaurji or with my Bhagoji or with Guruji, then they're really willing to take on all that entails. And it can mean, you know, really being able to face certain insecurities. We live in a world where there's a lot of pressure on young ladies, and there's a lot of media pressure, and it's really important for them to be able to stand tall and hold their heads up high and know that they have the support of Guru Sahib Ji with them.